Hello everyone, Helvian here. We are back with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable. We'll be talking about the second omnibus volume right here I got for display. I'm now reading all the volumes physically, starting with Part 4. And I'm going to experiment with a different format today. Instead of just mindlessly scrolling through the manga, looking for something that I remember from reading it like an hour or two before, and trying to make some coherent points. I'm just going to talk about the volume generally, things I liked and stuff, and like a more normal manga review, yeah, hopefully this will be better. Now, I am. You can tell that I'm going to be covering more material at once in one video than before. Like, I did 2 videos on the first omnibus. Now I'm doing 1 video on the second one. You can see where I have the omnibuses right below, right in that corner. I only have the first 3. The 4th one is on the way. And yeah, I'm gonna try to do these for my other series, and it won't be like one every day-ish of a week. I'll probably be doing like one review every other day, and they'll all be cover more material per video, except maybe One Piece, because One Piece is dense as fuck. But yeah, this volume, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So we start off. There's like Jotaro gets like a call, and it's from like a guy talking about how, but he's asking or demanding Jotaro leave the town, Morio, just trying to like threaten him, to leave, and it sounded like he was like a student. Okay, he's like immature. I do have this. I do have it on the second monitor. Actually, let me switch things around here. I do have the digital manga up on the second monitor just for reference, but I do have some notes here. The guy that's been turning people here in the stands, or in the stand users, well, the one that stole it from, what was it? Keiichi Onijimura, yes. He's been turning more people into stand users. He talked about like no more boring exams and job hunting, and he was able to strike Jotaro through the phone, so he has potentially a capable stand. But we'll see, like an electric stand. Did we actually see that in the last flame? I'm not sure. But yeah, the real crux of the first arc of the volume here. The real crux of the first arc is there's 3 arcs. The first one centers on Tanami Kobayashi, an enemy stand user that we encounter. He has interesting. I guess you can say interesting stand. Good enough for like a 100-page arc. It's called The Lock. He makes you feel guilty. And it kind of like it makes a actual physical lock on your heart, and it weighs you down so you can't like move as easily. And like the ultimate version of it, it can make you commit suicide. So that is pretty potent. I do like this arc, mostly because I like how it gives the center stage to Koichi. That's do it, and it's great. And this one is where he truly awakens his stand. I mean, he kind of did it last time, but he usually actually uses the full effect here. So yeah, his stand reverb allows him to allows the stand he controls mark like manga effects, like the effect marks you see in manga, and it will make the sound appear, actually. Although only the person affected by it can hear it. And that probably has something to do with how, like, you can't, non-stand users can't see stands. So it only makes sense if only stand users could see the reverb. Actually, no, wait, no. Because Koichi used it on his mom. So non-stand users can still get hit by reverb. That's interesting. However, it does seem like it only affects the person that is targeted by it. But I think we'll see that when he awakens his upgraded stand, but that'll be later in the volume. But yeah, Koichi is a great arc in this one. Kind of like it comes into his own. Araki gives him a chance to shine by himself. And it's all really good, and you can, like, obviously, like, the lock as a stand, it isn't like a power one, and neither is Koichi. And it's cool to see how he's able to overpower or outmaneuver the enemy stand here. And it is like a good gaining confidence kind of arc, kind of like an under guy. But I just like the development because it's more development than you really receive for most of these JoJo characters. Like, usually there's just like a flat personality, and if you like the character, you like the character, not necessarily because of the development, because of how the character is already defined. Usually not much development over the course of a single arc. Like, obviously Jotaro has developed since part 3, but obviously he's older now, so that makes sense. Same with other JoJo characters that appear in the next arc when they're older. But yeah, Koichi, by Koichi. Have you actually seen much about like a stand character that immediately awakens a stand and it's like has to develop their stand with the character? I think Jotaro in part 3 awakened the stand soon before the series started, right? Wasn't it? But his stand was already pretty powerful. It was already very powerful at the very start. It just became a bit more powerful, later on. Yeah, Koichi is becoming my MVP of the series. Also, I think it's cool that when he gets serious, he kind of looks like a Super Saiyan. It was cool. There was a line in one of these arcs that talked about like how stand users tend to be drawn to each other. I wonder how the series will expand on that going forward into other arcs or parts. Because this is the second part with stand users. In the first part, or in the third part, first part with stands, there was like a canonical reason. There was like a reason for them to meet. Dio created the stand users, and then instructed them to fight the other stand users. And so it's not really like fate or something like that draws them together. It's like it's just Dio. It's planned. As opposed to in Morio, where like someone is creating stand users, but we don't even know like why that guy that called Jotaro is doing it. There's not really you don't really see like a purpose to it so far. But even still, we can see how the stand users are kind of drawn to each other, and I think that's kind of interesting. Yeah. So the second arc with Toshizaku Hazamada, another stand user that was converted by this. What was it? Was he converted by the new mysterious stand user or the guy we defeated last time. But the new guy stole the bow from the old guy. And I'm like, who was this guy? From the new guy or the older guy? You know. He seems like he got turned into a stand user just like me after getting shot by Keicho's bow and arrow. Yeah, they don't really say. I guess we don't really know. I guess whether or not it makes or it's important remains to be seen. But yeah, this guy has a stand called Surface. And it's kind of interesting stand actually. Well, the power is just copying. You can copy, make a copy of you, or any person, and which is it's something you see a lot in fiction. You know, like Ditto or I don't know any. It's common, okay. Now, I think in the context of JoJo's, it's kind of interesting. It kind of binds to a physical object, so non-stand users can see it. But then maybe it's not actually that uncommon. I think wasn't like the Justice stand somewhat like that, or maybe not. Okay, I'm not sure. God damn it, hell memory strikes again. Okay, damn it. I do think it's kind of interesting how non-stand users can see the stand. Because they're just breaking a whole rule, you know? That's one of the whole rules of stands. Yeah, I watched a video about like ranking power systems, and well, I didn't really like it. Although I know, regardless of my thoughts on the video, JoJo's was ranked highly, and I get that. The fights are the mechanical aspects of the fights are probably the best part about JoJo's. It is pretty cool seeing all the stands interact with each other. So I get rating the power system highly. I do wonder if JoJo's had quirks from My Hero Academia instead. Couldn't just Araki just make it? Maybe Araki's just good at writing powers in general. You know, maybe it's not the stand system in general that makes it. Maybe if he did quirks, it'd be just as good. Because Araki is just that good at writing powers. I don't know. It's probably, but I have to get Stan's credit. You know, I'll stand by Stan's as being a good power up. I'm not salty. It was way higher above Ratsu or Bankai from Bleach. You know, I can't. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Okay. But anyways, so this, yeah, the stand, it copies appearance, and it's also like a voodoo doll thing. Was there another term? Was there another voodoo doll? You know the art. They've lots of series have done something like that. Like if you and he takes over JoJo or Josuke, and well, it kind of like allows Hazamada to through his stand mimic or make Josuke move, and he used this power initially to make someone kill himself. So that it's quite a devious stand. It makes it quite easy to frame something as like a suicide, you know? Yeah, it's quite devious. And I don't want to give a play-by-play of how this whole tactical battle of wits played out. You know, it was cool. You know, I like how Jotaro was just kind of like chilling there while everyone was chilling there clueless while everyone was like acting weird around him. But I don't know. The ending kind of felt like maybe a bit of a cop out because he basically just like won by like calling guys to help beat the guy up, you know. I mean, it is outsmarting, you know, but like usually, you know, we come to the series to see them outsmart with the stand, but that didn't really happen. Which is a shame. We see some of Reverb in this arc, not too much though. Like Koichi was taken out quickly. Oh, he did mark the stand marked Dosuke's hair. It marked his hair, and then he left. Okay, I'm not entirely sure how Reverb helped Josuke at this point. I'll take it for granted that it did help him. Yay, Josuke. Yay. Yeah, Hazama kind of a crazy guy. Oh. Pretty crazy. Now we're coming into the last arc, which is Yukako Yamagishi falls in love. I believe that's how they're. Yes. Now this takes off. This pace is twice the length of the last two arcs. And my boy Koichi gets a girl, sort of. Well, it just had to be crazy, huh? It just had to be crazy. So yeah, she has a stand Love Deluxe. She can manipulate her hair. Yeah, at some point I was wondering, like, why'd she get a stand? You know, like, did the guy who gave her the stand, did he like know she was crazy? Does he have a criteria for stand, like stand club? Because like, okay, in like the last volume, or I believe it was kind of established that like like if that not everyone who gets hit with the heart arrow, like heart or the stand arrow that makes you a stand user, not everyone who gets hit with it survives. So I'm wondering, like, how did he make the selection? Presumably people would realize that like it has such a high murder rate, unless this new stand converter has refined the process to make it so that no one dies. It's either that or lots of people are going missing and dying, and people just don't care, you know. I don't know. But regardless, you know, Kaku Yamagishi falls in love with Koichi. And yeah, there's some wacky shenanigans that come along with that. There's the love part at first, but obviously she turns into a psycho, or she was always a psycho. She's very possessive, and then kidnaps. It's a psycho, yes. And it is really cool seeing him on another We're already seeing him on another solo mission, essentially. Against another enemy stand user. Her stand is a bit more powerful than the lock, like physically. She can just freely manipulate her hair. That's okay. The hair manipulation, but it kind of is weird. Usually, stands are like a physical thing. So usually, there were some weird stands in part 3. Like Justice, the one that was a ship or something like that. But usually there are a physical thing. So I guess her stand implanted itself in her scalp or something. in her hair, or her stand is her hair. I don't know. Obviously, she had to have hair before she got the stand, right? I doubt. Obviously, the hair came first. Although I don't think anything else would make sense. Maybe it's doing that random, but I don't know. He gets a upgrade. Reverb gets an upgrade. Before it could only like, I think they said like before it could only make noises, but now it can like, if it makes like a noise of wind, it can create that wind. A good upgrade. But I guess only for like that person, because they like commented that like oh, these stray objects weren't affected by the wind that Koichi made to fight Yukako, yes. But I do wonder if the stand was purely sound based before, because he was able to like snap his mother out of it when he like inscribed the letters for like "Believe Me" with stand when he was fighting the lock guy. So I do, maybe I don't know, maybe it was sound, only sound, and like just those words resonated with her strongly, through the amplification, I guess, or something like that. Or it did brainwash her, and it wasn't sound bit. Okay, well, jury's on the whatever. We got the new reverb, anyways. The old reverb is out. We don't care about that one anymore. Who cares what it can do? But yeah, I think overall I am liking this part more than part 3. Although it does seem like we're going down a similar route. Like, okay, we fight a stand user. The stand user becomes our friend sometimes, and then we go towards unraveling the plot. Although this one is more of a mystery type thing, like who's manipulating the stands. We have to get closer to this mysterious stand creator. I mean, before it was just like a long slog to Egypt, and then well, this kind of ended. But yeah, Koichi, his development so far has given me hope that we can get actual development, actual characterization in JoJo's. Besides just fights. The fights are fine, okay, and like the comedic aspect and technical aspect, they're good. I just need like you call them like stakes, like actual like character development, something like that, those that could be good, maybe if we do that. And looks like we're doing it a bit more than part 3, maybe. Epic voice crack. Sad voice crack, not epic. Okay. I just like I just want to try this format, okay? Maybe I'll go back. But I don't know. It is a more common format, I think. Also, copyright. I haven't actually gotten any copyright notices or warnings or anything on this channel. But you never know, man. You never know. But we'll see. Also, I was also tired of censoring any like manga that could have like nudity or anything in it. Okay, so we'll see how this works. But yeah, I think it's most of my comments on the omnibus volume of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4. Unbreakable. I think so. I'm trying doing 6 series. So if I do 1 every 2 days, It'll be 12 days before my next video on JoJo's, so bear with me. I do, with this new format, I do want to reduce the number of series I do concurrently. So after Kagurabachi, I won't start a new series. And the next one I'll do is I'll be finishing as Love Hina. I did say I would do Nigima right after Love Hina. I might have to postpone that. But yeah, we'll see how it works out. So until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.